How's it going, everybody? My name is Spencer Ostrowski, and I'm the host at the Drill Ring Sports Show, bringing you some post-game analysis for the Connecticut and Las Vegas Aces game. Aces lost 74 to 80 at home, and I just wanted to start off this podcast by just kind of look. It's my dream to be a sports journalist for this team, the Aces, and it's one of my number one goals in life. It would be a dream come true for me, but I can't sacrifice my integrity as a sports writer or sports columnist, whatever you want to call it, just to try to get ahead of this team, like to get a chance to be hired by the team. I wanted to start off this episode by essentially just saying that the Aces have to fire Bill Laimbeer. And I know that may squander my chances of achieving my dream in life, but if I can't have integrity as a sports journalist now when I'm getting less than 100 views per video, then I don't think I'll ever have it, because now is the time where I set the tone of what I want my career to be like. And he has to go. He has the most talented roster in the WNBA, and he's just not getting the most out of it. This offensive scheme, this defensive scheme, I'm physically seeing these games, is so inept. It's so old. It doesn't work for the modern WNBA or basketball in general. And if the Aces organization cared about the success of this team, they'll fire him now, promote the assistant coach, and go on a coaching job, because there is still lots of time left in the season. There's lots of time in between games to establish a new offensive system, because the one we have in place now in the defensive scheme is not good enough to win a championship. I don't even know if it's good enough to make the playoffs this year, which would be monumentally the worst meltdown, the worst coach of all time in sports history, because this is the most talented roster ever assembled on a WNBA court, and they're 1-2 right now. He's saying, he had an interview after the game saying we need to get the most out of our players. He's not getting the most out of our players. It's embarrassing, and it shouldn't be acceptable. And I get it. In the beginning, he was hired for people to buy tickets because he's a big name. He played in the NBA. He's a Hall of Famer. But the time has passed. No one's buying season tickets to see Bill Laimbeer anymore. It's just not the case. He hasn't won a title in 16 years. It's not acceptable. The Aces organization needs to sit down and ask themselves what's important for the team. To have a big name coach or to win a WNBA championship. Winning a WNBA championship brings more people to the stadiums, brings more interest to the league, because you have a dominant team, and right now we look like a middle of the road team, a bottom tier team. We're not winning games that we should have, and it's absolutely embarrassing because we're getting absolutely crushed out here, winning close games when the game shouldn't even be close. We should outmatch every single team we play, and it should not be close. It's embarrassing to watch. It's frustrating to watch, and I say this, I know I may be risking my lifelong goal of being a sports writer for this team because I'm bashing the head coach of the team, and that's usually not what sports beat writers do. But I have to have integrity here, and everyone needs to know, if you see this video, know that Bill Laimbeer does not deserve this coaching job for this team. I don't know, I can't say for other teams because I don't analyze them so closely, but I watch every game, I watch every minute, I watch every second, I go to all the home games. He's a terrible coach, and his schemes are old-fashioned, and we need a new modern era team, because you have two scorers and Kelsey Plum and Kayla McBride who are not getting open shots when you have two of the most post-dominant players in the league on our team, in Liz Cambage and Asia Wilson, who went 9 of 10. So now I'm just going to go over my game notes, and I'll wrap it all up. I don't want to make this episode too long again, because it's just post-game analysis, but I'm just really on edge for this because it's just ridiculous what's happening. Again, Carolyn Swords is starting. She's not a starting center in this league. It's very clear. There's no way around it. I think she's a great role player, but in the starting lineup, she does not move horizontally well. She gets dominated by every startup we played. It's been 3 straight games. She's been dominated for 3 straight games. Jisoo Park is not the answer. I will tell you that right now. It doesn't make sense that if Liz Cambage is going to play in the game, why is she playing second? Why is she playing with the second unit? Bill Laimbeer must think that he's going to have some sort of advantage in a dominant second unit. It doesn't make sense because our starting lineup is getting dominated by starting centers, because Carolyn Swords can't handle bigs in the post. It's starting centers in the post, I should say. It makes no sense that he's willing to play Liz Cambage but not play her at the starters. She's a top 5 player in the WNBA, if not a top 3 player, and there's no reason why she shouldn't be in the starting lineup at this point. It's bad coaching, and it's embarrassing. When Plum has a pick and roll with Carolyn Swords, I don't think there's ever been a net positive play that's come out of it. There's never been good shots. There's never been good plays. It makes no sense, and it doesn't work. Yeah, again, Swords shouldn't be in the starting lineup. And the big story of the game should have been that Asia Wilson had a big bounce back game. She went 9 of 10. She didn't touch the ball nearly enough. It's absolutely unacceptable that one of the best players in the game is not getting the ball enough. It's unbelievable how many times players who shouldn't have the ball in their hands have the ball in their hands in this offense. I can't tell you how many times Tamara Young brought up the ball. I can't tell you how many times Jisoo Park had the ball on the elbow. It's unbelievable that Coulson, Jisoo Park, and Tamara Young probably had the ball in their hands more than Kayla McBride and Kelsey Plum. It's not right. It's not okay. I don't understand what the point is, because this offense isn't set up for off-ball anything. People just stand there. People are running on top of each other. People are confused. Asia Wilson had a few turnovers because she thought people would be in certain places, but they're not. That's all on coaching schemes, and it's so frustrating to watch when teams that are much less talented than us are dominating us in the end of games because our schemes are so bad and they let the team down. Again, Tamara Young, I love her. Like, I enjoy watching her play. She's very good defensively. She's the J.R. Smith of the WNBA. She'll take bad shots. She'll make some of them, but that's just what it comes down to. There's too many these fast break, but they're like half back break turnovers. I don't know where this comes from. If you're gonna commit to the fast break, crash the defensive boards, look for outlets. None of this like kind of half rebounds where you go up the court and try to do something in the middle of the team getting back on defense. It makes no sense. Again, this is something that you usually have 4 days to prepare for a game in the WNBA. Bill Laimbeer is just not sitting these players down and telling them, because I see it every game, this is on him. These players are going to do what they think is best, and it's up to the coach to tell them to look at game tape, to sit them down and show them that this is not okay, and he's doing it every single time. Free throw shooting in the game was also atrocious. It took us out of the game, essentially. If we had made more of our free throws, it would have been a much closer game, and it probably would have been up at the end rather than playing catch-up. But again, this game to me is all about Bill Laimbeer and his schemes, and it just doesn't work. The team has no defensive scheme for defending the three-point line. He isn't dedicated to looking at film tape, obviously, because the same problems are occurring from last season. I thought they were fixed in the first game of the season. They're occurring worse now. It looks even worse. I don't understand why we have 4 All-Stars in our starting lineup, and there are times in the game, or there should be 4 All-Stars, including Liz Cambage. I don't understand why there's 4 All-Stars on our team, and there will be times when there's not one of them on the floor. The games are shorter. It makes no sense. It's unacceptable, and if the Aces were smart, they will fire Bill Laimbeer and look for a new head coaching job. Promote the assistant coach. Look for a new coach who's dedicated to making a modern offense, because right now in your starting lineup, you have Kayla McBride, who averaged 18 points last season, a certified bucket getter, and you also have Kelsey Plum, who is the all-time leading scorer in NCAA women's history. We're not getting her shots. I think she had 2 3-pointers which were contested because she just had to check them up. That's not okay when you have 2 ball-dominant post players who should be able to pass them out and give them the ball. It's totally on him. These players are uncomfortable in this offense, and it's been like this for 2 years now. I know I'm upset. I just keep going to these games, and I'm just watching these games and analyzing every play, and it's so annoying, and it's so frustrating to watch. One of the best teams ever assembled in this women's basketball history, and it's being squashed by a shit coach that doesn't know how to run a team. So, yeah, there's my little rant. I'm a little upset because it's so frustrating to watch, but this team should be able to bounce back. They should be able to fix everything. It has to start. It's the terrible truth that the Aces organization has to do. Bill Laimbeer has served his function, and he's got to go. This guy hasn't won a championship in a decade. And for good reason. He doesn't run a modern offense. Thanks for watching. I know I probably just ruined my chances of being hired by the team, but again, I have to report with integrity. I can't lie to myself. I can't lie to anybody who's watching this video, even if it's 87 people watching, if it's 2, if it's 5. I have to be honest, and I have to report exactly what's going on, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So thanks for watching, guys.